We're good. And here we are in the top left-hand corner. We do see the winner of the last round is Infused Daze in Foofighter type. And what was that? And Daze just replying saying it's a Romanian PC man. It's not very good. So Daze should definitely go and find out the. Definitely go and sign up for that little competition over at Club3D.
Yeah.
Anyway, Daze is going to be in the top left as the red Protoss player, and in the bottom left we do have the first Terran of the show match. It is going to be AI's Foofighter. Not to be, you know, misconstrued with the band. He is a Terran player.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's not the actual band playing, guys. It's just a player with the same name.
That'd be pretty crazy. Like five band members all playing around one keyboard and that.
Yeah, and they're playing it on, like, you know, actual keyboard and with the guitar and stuff together. Like they're all one guy is controlling some keys with his guitar, and you know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I reckon that could happen.
No, that's not the case. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what's going on right now. I mean, in this matchup right now, it appears that the trendy thing to do is for the Protoss player to go for a very, very quick Nexus, right? Almost like when you're playing against Surge.
Yep.
You really want to go for that quick Nexus. Sometimes you even don't want to go for the gateway first, you just want to go for the Nexus. Seems like, though, the gateway has been placed down for Daze here, so he's going to play the more safe way here and see what's going on. But, yeah, like I said, we'll see if it can get into a macro game here with a quick expansion coming up from Daze.
Yeah, well, yeah, you touched on it first, and that's something that's been happening a lot in TVPs, where the Protosses have been going for that kind of, you know, that forge fast expand, but they get a gateway behind it immediately as well. Like they go for that forge fast expand, but the problem is on some maps it's not so good because you know, certain builds can just kind of kill it outright. But it is starting to creep into the game a little bit more. These forge fast expand builds against Terran, it's something that I still think is being figured out. But it's definitely something that can be utilised if played right. But things such as, you know, like Reapers or you know, like very quick medevacs kind of negate it somewhat. You know, early Marauder pushes and things. So and even like tank, you know, siege pushes. Like I don't know if anyone watched the GSL this morning with MVP versus, or who's he playing? I think it was.
Yeah,
I can't remember who he was playing.
Hero, right?
Yeah, he was playing Hero. That's quite right. And he did a tank push, a three racks tank push, you know, to try and break it, you know, because he scouted the Forge Fast Expand. But you know, things like that happen quite a lot, and it's just how to deal with it. And I still think Terrans are figuring out what's the best way to play against it. But Daze is not going to go for that. He's just going to go for the 1-gate expand, which is the most safest build in all the playbook of Protoss players in this matchup. And we do see as well from the Terran player, Foofighter, he's just going to go for a 1 Rax FE into his second Rax, and he's going to add two refineries straight off the bat. So it's a little interesting. I want to see how many people he actually adds on gas immediately. If he's going to add 2 on each, okay, so he's going to fully saturate both gases. Okay, that's a little strange right now. Don't normally see this.
I mean, what would that indicate? I mean, would it be some type of very, 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 you know, tech-intensive player? Is he looking at, you know, getting more upgrades, for example, for his bio? What's that indicate?
Well, I think this is going to show that he wants to probably get very fast starport out. You know, he'll probably want to get his stim and medevacs out and get some map control. He is adding a reactor and a tech lab at the same time, which would indicate that he does want to get, you know, their marines out. He does want to get the, you know, the upgrades such as, you know, your stims, your combat shields, and things like that. And then he's getting all this gas to be able to support them upgrades, but also he'll be looking to get, you know, his factory out and get reacted starport on the go to, you know, because you don't really get that. He's actually adding the factory to a tech lab. Okay, so he could be going for kind of a Hellion play, or maybe even tanks at this point. This is a little strange right now. I'm not overly too sure, but I would have for sure thought
like a starport with tech lab.
Well, yeah, it could be. It also could be like, you know, and this is going to sound really cheesy, but you know, you have the 1-1-1 on one base. It could be, you know, the delayed version of that is kind of known as a 2-2-2, where you get an expansion, but you get double of it. And it actually could be something like that. Getting this factory right now. And then it'll be interesting to see if he goes for tanks. He is getting tanks as well. So yeah, I do think this is going to be what he's going for. Now Daze is going for very quick Colossus as well, and which is kind of blind counter right now. He doesn't even have these turned into warp gates right now, and he's going for Colossus. But it's going to be pretty important for him. He's going to lose the Stalker here if he's not careful. No, he does get that out of the way. But just having a look at Foofighter's build right now, he hasn't added a starport. He is getting tanks. And maybe he's just going to go for a very quick timing push. I'm not overly too sure, though. He has got a nice amount of Marines out. But remember, a Colossus with Thermal Lance totally negates this kind of play, because Marines get eaten up by Colossus, tanks get eaten up by Colossus as well. He is getting siege mode, and here comes the upgrades for them Colossus, and there it is there being researched at the robotics bay. You do see the Thermal Lance there being researched.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's really interesting to see this very, very tech-intensive play that Daze does right now. Plays in his hands so well right now, and yeah, he's adding another gateway right now, but it's already been 8 in-game minutes, so that's a very late third gateway, and wow, this is gonna get really, really interesting, because here comes the push from Foofighter, and it's battle against the clock right now for Daze. He has to get that Thermal Lance up, I think, in order to really, really feel safe right now.
Well, he hasn't got any units back at home. He's got these 2 Stalkers, he's got a 3rd Stalker and a Sentry, a Zealot and 1 Colossus. He needs to come out of his natural, do some damage, try and weaken these units and force a siege up. That's what he needs to do. He needs to force a siege up further back and slow the push. Now he needs to come back out again and do a little push. But Foofighter's kind of saw the Colossus, he's decided to push home. I'm not too sure if that's the right decision there. I think he had enough to he could have actually just 1-8 into that, to be honest with you. He has such an advantage, but Foofighter is scared of the Colossus, and why not? He is going to return home. But Daze now does have 2 Colossus out, and that upgrade is going to finish.
Yeah, alright, so he rushed up for the siege tech right now. I mean, really wanted to do a push right now, but right there. But I mean, what's he following this up with? I'm looking looking for a third expansion, but it's not coming anytime soon. So, I mean, yeah, it seems like Daze is now going out on the map. Do you think Daze is looking to go for an attack? No,
I think Daze will poke. I think he'll have a little poke. Colossus in this position here is quite good, but there is a tank in position already. Look, he's just going to try and harass here with these Colossus, and he's actually going to take out that tank. He's going to take out quite a few SCVs as well. And
yeah,
he's going to have to move back though. He doesn't want to lose that Colossus. The Colossus costs so much money. They're so important. They're so low on health, and Daze does just keep it alive with 18 hit points. But I think at this point here, Daze might just kind of go for it, but I don't think it's the right decision. I think he should just go back, take a 3rd, and and get his Colossus count up a little bit higher, and get his 3rd base. Maybe then go into Templar tech.
Yeah, and really, I mean, it's not until now that the starport actually come into play for Foofighter. Now, first he can start producing those Vikings, but he has. Yeah, he has no reactor in that starport, so he's not going to be able to get up that many Vikings in order to counter this great amount of Colossus that keeps getting bigger and bigger, and yet still no expansion for neither of these. A 3rd expansion, that is. Warping on the high ground here from Daze, but yeah, Daze is killing the refinery there, and that's a nice little move there, because Foofighter is very dependent on the gas right now.
Yeah, he does need all that gas, but because he needs the Vikings out, he needs medevacs, he needs to get his Marauders out, so he does need that gas. So it is very nice to to keep that gas guys unoccupied as it will, but he needs to be careful, because that Viking is getting free pot shots off on the Colossus. He needs to keep them Stalkers out of range of the tanks as well. But we do see the 3rd Nexus has just been landed there for Daze, so he is going to start macroing up behind us a little bit. Is adding now his double forge. Remember, because he hadn't got any single upgrades till now, that's what he's been kind of skimping on. And we do have +1 has finished for the bio units of Foofighter, but he doesn't. And well, the armor is only a quarter of the way done now. But it's getting to a position now where it's very even. Foofighter has the much bigger army, but if he was to hold back much longer, Daze is going to overtake him in terms of economy and in terms of production, because his, he'll be on more bases.
Yeah. And I mean, the harassment continues here from Daze. He has, very nice lead in the workers right now. Though we have to remember that the mules is also there supporting the economy for Foofighter. But a good play from Daze so far, and Foofighter is looking at taking his own expansion as well. He has started to produce a command center in his main base, as well as a lot of these barracks. So yeah, Yeah, he's looking to get the third base up and start to establish some kind
We're
of
gonna have a pause.
macro match.
Yeah, Foofighter just having a little bit of lag. Remember, guys, you have to have fully working PC and internet connection for you to play at a very high level. But guys, remember to check out Infused TV over at Facebook and Club3D as well. Go and like both of them pages. If you do that, you do have a chance of winning Club3D t-shirts and swag as well. So definitely go and check that out. Just at the moment, I don't want to say too much because obviously the game is still in play and the players, have paused it. But I mean, it's a close affair so far, and it's just it kind of typifies the entire show match so far. It's very close, tight knit. It's such an even match between these two teams, and this game as well. So far, it can go either way right now.
Yeah, and I mean, a Protoss on 3 base is a very happy Protoss, I'd say. On 3 days, you are able to kind of afford, the stuff you need. You can afford to switch between Colossus and Archons very nicely, and get those upgrades up. You don't really need to rush to get that 4th base going. I think Daze can feel very comfortable with the 3rd base he has, with the 3 bases he has right now. And even though I'm yeah, here we go. Finally starts to add gateways, because even though, I mean, when they start to get into the late game position, there is always the chance of this very, very, very nasty drops that come from a Terran player. And if you don't have enough gateways, you just cannot warp in enough units to counter that in time. And sometimes you see, the really, really top Protoss players in, Korea and so on, they warps in, maybe if they have 8 gateways, they only warp in 4 units from them just to keep them, viable for possible warping.
Absolutely. Daze is in a little bit of trouble though, because he doesn't have that much of an army right now, and these Vikings against so many pot shots off, taking out Colossus, might even take out 2, but Storm is just about to finish. Now it's going to come down to, can he land these crucial storms to get himself back in this game. There's quite a lot of tanks here still, a lot of these units are injured because of a stim. Here come out 2 medevacs though, and these tanks are slowly creeping up forward.
Yeah, and there's no ghosts on the battlefield for the Terran player either, so it's not going to be able to deal with the large amount of High Templars in a very nice fashion, I think. But yeah, the tables has turned, and now it's time for Foofighter to actually do some damage on the expansion of Daze, and we'll see how Daze handles this. I think Daze is a very good position, but I cannot rush into this. Unprepared. He really needs to be sure, of the fact that he can actually take this army out before he does that. But very interesting situation in the match right now.
Yeah, Daze is behind in supply. Foofighter's army is superior. He also has superior upgrades. 1-1 to the... Well, both players do have 1-1 right now, so it's not that much superior. But, I mean, them Vikings, man, they're going to be so good against them Colossus. There's only 4 Colossus out right now. There's a whole bunch of Zealots. I think he's going to go for it, though. He needs to split his army. He needs to get a good split that goes down. There's a storm, but he's running right into the storm. I'm not too sure if I like that storm. He needs to get crucial storms off. There goes a couple. And, oh my god, them storms are going everywhere. And Daze is going to crush this, I feel.
Yeah, but look at the expansion from Daze, the 3rd one. The little hit squad of Marauders is taking it out, and that's really, really good for Foofighter and Daze. He had 2 Zealots there, but wasn't able to warp in the mist, in the heat of battle there, so... yeah, very, very good play still by Foofighter taking out the expansion, but we have to remember he lost his whole army.
Yeah, that is the crucial point you just made, that he lost his entire army doing that. Let's have a look in the base. He's still behind that. He didn't take out the indestructible rocks. He didn't lift off that command center and try to land it somewhere else. He has not been mining from 3 bases, so losing that nexus for Daze, while it sucks, he's not in an awful position. He's actually still ahead right now.
And here we go. Finally, Foofighter starts destroying these rocks right now. But he's faced with a great army here from Daze. 3 Archons in the mix right now, abusing the fact that there aren't many Ghost Strikes right now for
3 Ghosts out.
Foofighter. But yeah, I think he needs. Don't you think he needs at least 2 or 3 more of those in order to really do?
Maybe so. Maybe so. I'm not even sure if he got the upgrade for them. No, he didn't even get the energy upgrade, so they don't have EMPs yet. I think 1 or 2 might, but it doesn't matter because they missed the Archons anyway. And the Archons are just going to move in now, and Daze is going to win this game. There's a
wow,
GG.
the GG from Foofighter.
And oh my god, Daze takes a second game for himself. Now